What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Man, I want to have another crack at brother Ime Udoka. And I know that some guys really believe in consensual relationships, consensual affairs. You know, sleeping with your coworkers, it's okay. I know it goes on very big in the military and things like that. And for me, I don't have a job. I'm an entrepreneur, but the same rules are going to be applied here. And we got to have a conversation about leadership, right? We got to have a conversation about leadership. And the one thing about leadership, especially when it comes to black men, is that the more that I talk about it, the more that I feel like black men don't want to be responsible for that. I'm not saying all, but some. I see guys making excuses that, you know, he can have more than one wife. He's not dealing with anybody. I keep hearing these excuses, but now I want to talk about leadership. Okay. When you say that you're a leader and there are rules, it's something that you have to follow if you want others to play the game. Meaning that I can't say I'm looking for you to do something and I won't do it. That doesn't make me, it makes me a hypocrite. So let me first start off by saying this. Ime Udoka became the head coach of the Boston Celtics after Brad Stevens struggled as the head coach. Brad Stevens becomes president of operations. Ime Udoka, after, you know, being an assistant coach for many years, comes in. They do very well the first year. The players really respond to him. Now, one of the things that Boston Celtics or any head coaching situation will do is say, listen, if you're going to go and coach for me or this organization, one of the things that you cannot do is have sex with the employees. That's something that you cannot do. Do you understand that? And Ime Udoka has the choice to say, no, I want to work at a place where I can possibly date the employees. Like, I want to be able to sleep with the employees at this job. So the only way I'm going to coach this team is I want to sleep with the players, or not the players, or the staff at the job. He didn't say that. What Ime Udoka said was, that's fine. I cannot sleep with the players, and if I do, there's a repercussion with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to agree to that. Now, he has to accept that responsibility. Got it? Now, let me just tell you this. Ime Udoka, Boston's a really big city. Plenty of women in Boston you can sleep with, especially after last year. Ime Udoka, who's with Nia Long, didn't do that. He decided that, you know what, for whatever the reason is, I want to sleep with this girl here. And I've heard there's even more than her. All right? Now, let me just talk about this, because the Celtics had to get ahead of this. They did, right? They had to get ahead of this. How did they get ahead of this? Well, number one, they said, look at this. The woman was going to report, one of the women were going to report that he was making unwanted comments towards her. Now, I don't know if this is one of the women that he was sleeping with, but one of the women said that he was making unwanted comments towards her. Now, what are unwanted comments? Now, let's talk about that, because this is a gray area thing. If you say hello to somebody and they don't want you to say hello to them, technically, that is an unwanted comment. I know it's petty. Right? Most of us make unwanted comments towards people all the time. Every human does. We say things that piss off everybody. But now, here are the comments that are going to be unwanted. Let's talk about those that are dubious. Okay? Those that are nasty, perverted, those in the dubious, in the gray areas where you don't know really what the person is saying, but you know there's an implication that it's sexually immoral. It's unwanted. Okay. And I know people, we like to joke. We say things in the workplace every day. Well, some of us say things to coworkers that can get each other fired. I get it. I understand. But now the intention is the problem here, because you are the head coach of the Boston Celtics. You cannot have sex with anybody that's on the staff. So then how did you do that? I don't want guys to give me excuses that he's single. He should be able to do what he wants. Because, you know, the Bible says he can have more than one wife. And when I'm reading these comments, I'm thinking about black men. Are you the same people who think that black women should listen to you? Those who make this comment. So basically, you can excuse this for breaking the rules. But when women do it, you want them to oblige by your rules. You are no different than he is, because he wants the players to follow his rules, yet he cannot follow the rules of the organization. If I'm the owner of the organization, you're fired. Especially in America. I don't care what you did last year, you're fired. You're terminated. The reason is you have no integrity. You can't follow the rules. So I don't want you being here. Out. I don't care what you did last year. Out. And then I'll make sure that you will never have a job in the league again. You want to know why? Because you're a big lawsuit waiting to happen. Why? Because if a woman starts to sue somebody, they don't sue Ime Udoka. They sue the Boston Celtics for a lawsuit. Because the head coach put the organization at risk. You see, it would be a little different if his actions only cost him some money, but there's not. The women are going to go after the organization. So because the organization has an employee that did it, and that was the head coach, now you're costing the organization. So now we have to settle out of court because of you. Get your stuff and go. Out immediately. You don't want to follow the rules. I don't care how good you are. You don't need to be here. Go someplace else where you can follow the rules. And let me tell you guys something. For those of you who feel like that, go build your own basketball team. If you want a basketball team where you can sleep with the people that work there, go buy a team, which you can't, but go buy a team. When you work for somebody in life, you follow rules. Let me tell you something before I go today. My grandfather and my father were very unique with me when I was growing up. And my dad, my father used to always tell me, my mama too. She said, boy, listen, as long as you live here, it's a few things that you're going to do. You're going to work and you're going to school. And if you ain't got to work that Sunday, you're going to church. But if you don't want to do that, what you can do is get the hell out of here. You ain't got to follow my rules, but if you're going to live here, you can't follow my rules. I am in my 40s. I cannot bring a woman home to spend the night in my mama's house that I'm not married to this day. If somebody were to spend the night in my house as a woman, my mama will force me to go have a separate room. You can't sleep in a room with that girl if you're not married to her. I'm in my 40s and I can't do that. If you want to stay with her, you can go get an apartment or a hotel and you're going to get out of here. But you're not bringing that girl in my house, sleeping in the same bed with her, and you ain't your wife. That's called rules. And a lot of you black men out there don't want to follow rules, but you want black women to follow rules. It don't work like that, bro. Responsibility is a privilege. You got to live by what you talk about. And a lot of black men, I noticed in yesterday's video, y'all don't want to live what you're talking about. But you want to lead women, but you don't want to live that. You can't do that. How can you lead and you don't actually live by your own responsibilities? You're a hypocrite. If the rules say you can't sleep with the women in the staff and you agree to that, you're a leader, you have to be living what you talk about. If you're not, go sit down. Go sit down. How are you going to have somebody to respect you when you don't do it? And that's the problem with some of these black men out here in the community. You want people to listen to you when you don't do what you said you're going to do. And that becomes a problem. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again for another episode of The Celebrity Chum. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. I'm out.